Hello and welcome to today's League of Legends Roundup. We're just going to cover the series that took place this morning in the LPL between LNG and JDG. A very quick, easy one. So this video is going to be out a couple hours before we've seen the last few days' videos out. I'm not going to do a sneak peek for the next series in the LPL because there is not only the series in the LPL on Thursday, but there will also be a series in the LCS. So tomorrow's roundup will consist of the sneak peek for Thursday. As well, later today, because I have plenty of time today, I'm going to do a minor region, sorry for moving the mic, minor region wrap-up video where I'm going to put down who I think algorithmically are going to be the teams that get out of their region and go to Worlds. Obviously, things are already started in many regions, but I was waiting for the VCS to finish up before making this video, so they just finished up. So that's what I'm going to do. So that is what it is. If you're a minor region fan, you may want to watch it. Plus, I have the top 5 players in each role that I'm looking at statistically. I'll go over some key stats as to why they are where they are. It'll be the same stats I used in the 4 major region videos. Outside of support, I've widened the stat list from just a couple stats to, I think there's like 7 or 8. But that video will be out later today. And then tomorrow, because there is no major region game, I am going to watch the VCS series between Saigon Buffalo and Team Secret. That is definitely the series to watch. I'm not going to watch the LJL series. I believe Burning Core versus, I don't know who they're against, but I don't think either one are making it out of the LJL. But Secret and Saigon Buffalo, I think, are the 2 and 3 seeds, so it'll be interesting to watch. Saigon Buffalo, a team we've seen at MSI. And I think I'm going to widen that video and possibly look at a couple other games. Maybe, look at the Chief series where they just 3-0'd. Maybe look at some PCS games, CB Lull. Someone had suggested yesterday, the day before, to watch some CB Lull games. So I might watch a few games and just not go over it like this, but just go over my notes and how I feel about those teams after a couple games. Just scratching the surface of what these teams may be like when Worlds comes around. So if you like this sort of content, subscribe to the channel. But now, intro's done. Now onto this. So I was drinking the LNG Kool-Aid. A lot of people were, but I definitely was. I was a big proponent. I thought this would be at least a series. I had it going 5 games, so I think I could have seen it either way. I had LNG 3-2 though, and it couldn't have been farther from the truth. This was a blowout. This was destruction. LNG got gapped in every which way possible. I couldn't believe actually how, I think with the layoff from JDG, I think it was like one of those things where forgot just how good JDG is. Just clean 3-0. Yagao, 22-9-17. Hope, 18-4-24, 30% of damage. Light, 9-11-13, 33% of damage. Doomby, 8-11-13. So this was just absolute domination. Every player from LNG had double-digit deaths. These were the 2 best score lines. Ale got completely dumpstered by 369, and I partially blame the coach. After game 1, Ale had struggled in game 1 a lot in the early game, was able to make something of it, and the game became close at the end. But after that, in the laning phase and how poorly he had played, I would have considered strongly putting Ale on Ornn, Gragas, Sejuani, something of that sort, where he would not lose lane, or let's put it this way, not be like gapped. He would lose lane but have relevance, where they just kept picking Gnar, and that just caused him to be irrelevant. He was just absolutely demolished by 369. Kanavi picked up Bel'Veth in game 1 and won with it. Bel'Veth stinks, but Kanavi, arguably the best jungler in the world, definitely in the conversation in the top 3 to 5. Should have won MVP, but he didn't. And he kind of proved it today on the Bel'Veth that he should have. Tarzan playing Poppy, I believe he might have played it all 3 games. 2 games of Sejuani, game 3, I think. And Kanavi just was more relevant. I think with this top lane gap that was going on and the mid lane gap between Yagao and Doumbé, it was just destruction. Doumbé playing Talia in game 1 and 2. Talia is not as strong as it once was, I believe, honestly. It was nerfed recently, and I don't think it is quite as good as it was. And Yagao played very well against LNG the first time around. He had 15 kills, which shocked me when I looked at the last series they played yesterday when I was preparing my Patreon post. I was like, wow, Yagao had 15 kills, damn. And he had 22 today. And Doumbé, I mean, 2 Talia games and then a Renekton mid with actually shoot. Tarzan did not play Sejuani game 3, he played Zac. Kanavi played Sejuani. So it was Zac Renekton game 3 for LNG, and that was just I don't know what they're doing. I feel like they inted draft just because they were going to losers bracket, didn't want to give JDG another good look at them. Because it was Zac, Renekton mid, and then Coglulu bot, and Coglulu really hasn't been being picked all that much. I guess it's a bot lane that must do well in scrims because it's constantly talked about, but it isn't pulled out often, and it struggles on stage. And today was no exception. Excuse me. Bot lane, because Light and Lamau just looked awful. Light just kept getting picked out time and time again. I mean, game 1, his Sivir was good, and then he ended the game getting caught out twice. Would get caught out in the game 2, and game 3 did the same thing. So it was just terrible, terrible positioning out of Light after a couple good series. He cannot play this way against EDG and Viper or Mako if he wants any chance in hell at getting back into getting back into the playoffs and not being relegated to regional qualifiers, because this was just, Light was just awful. Just awful. Lamau was awful. The whole damn team was awful. It really was a terrible, terrible showing. And the thing is, JDG also are this good. They're one of the best teams in the world. I do believe right now, Gen G, JDG, and Top are clearly the 3 best teams in the world. EDG, we'll see how EDG and LNG fare. But the way EDG lost to Top was very different than the way LNG lost to JDG today. Very different games, and honestly, in the way that LNG lost, I wouldn't be shocked if EDG had a gap on them going into it. We'll talk about that more tomorrow, though. As of right now, this is all we got. So, comment down below if you were... I feel like a lot of people would have predicted JDG, but, comment down below if you thought LNG was going to look this bad. Because I really don't think they were going to look this bad. I believe it should have won 5 games, and then we see who wins game 5. But I didn't expect such a terrible showing. So, like the video if you like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. If you are a minor region fan, like I said, later today I will have a minor region wrap up where I go over the teams that I think are going to get out of their region. I'm not going to have a lot to really talk about those teams outside of what the algorithm tells me. So that'll just be kind of really brief. But when I look at the top 5 players in each role from the minor regions, I will have some stats where people, you can say what the other side of the story is, because stats are what they are. Not all regions are created the same, but this is just how it has to be done. So thank you for watching. Join the Discord, links in the description, and hope you come back later for more content, I guess.